My name is Johnny, this is Larry, and this is David. We are Project Eco Tower. So I'm gonna tell you something fun that I always like to do, and that's to watch YouTube videos. That's when I'm bored or if there's like a very important test the next day. The best thing that I do is watch food videos. Other people watch babies and cats. That's not my thing. So Gordon Ramsay, my favorite, is what like him screaming at people and telling people, "You can't cook this. You need fresh ingredients." With Eco Tower, we're trying to bring that like farm audience to urbanization. That way, people can get the freshest ingredients whenever they want and wherever they want. Okay. In this demonstration video, we'll show you how our tower functions. All right. Yep. Sorry for that. Moving on. Well, for the introductions, David will explain to you what Eco Tower is about and what kind of themes we're trying to face.
So the themes for our project really wanted to address, we wanted to address three different themes for our project. One of them is through the field of hydroponics, and hydroponics is growing plants like basil or tomatoes without having to plant them in the ground, so you can grow them all year round. And we wanted to integrate that with software applications, so you can monitor it through your phone or through a web server or wherever need be. We also wanted to integrate that as well with renewable energy, so you're able to grow plants without having to plug them in, so you don't have to so they don't waste your electricity bill, so they don't raise up your rates. And Larry will talk about that.
So some things that we're looking into while building this hydroponic tower was we were looking into electricity so that we can rely on different power sources aside from just plugging it in. We're also looking to collect data from our hydroponic tower as we were inspecting some issues from the hydroponic tower. And then we were looking to transmit this information into a mobile phone. And so in that aspect, we can monitor how different metrics will fluctuate and change. And then from that, we can present this information and then mitigate any possible issues while growing plants in our tower. And here, Johnny will be explaining some issues that we're facing inside the industry right now.
So the issues that hydroponics field is that the power that it draws requires like massive amount of solar energy and things like that. What we're trying to do is minimize it so we can put it into a home environment. That way you can grow things and have it mobility, because right now the hydroponics field, you just plug it into a plug and let it all run. We're trying to make it so that you can like put it in the closet and pretend that it was never there. And then the next week or so, you'll have fresh plants growing. And then David over here will explain to you what our objectives are for this class project.
So the class project that we had, so the objective that we wanted to tackle for our class project was to create a autonomous hydroponic tower that can be monitored and controlled through through software applications online, as well as being as self-sufficient as humanly possible. Larry can explain further upon that tower.
And so with the hydroponic tower we have here, some things that we were monitoring would be the pH, the acidity level, because plants need a specific range between 5 and 8 or so. And so we're also looking to control the flow of it to make sure that all the plants are receiving an equally distributed amount of water. And so another thing that we're looking to also monitor would be the total dissolved solids, because while water is an efficient way to grow plants, we also want to maximize efficiency through getting different nutrients for the individual plants as well. And so from that, we're also looking into monitoring or managing the light from that. So this lamp here will be able to help grow the plants and maximize even further efficiency. And so with that, we integrated a software application, and Johnny will be able to explain that as well.
Like Project Aura, Emmanuel explained Bluefruit. What we did was use the Bluetooth wireless technology because it supplies low energy. And with low energy, it draws less power. So by using Bluetooth, we're able to, like, from a distance, control the tower's light function and pumps, and also monitor what kind of data it's transmitting to our phones. That way, if we need to turn on the light or if we need to feed the plant, we can manually do that. And otherwise, it would just run on a timer, and it'll just continuously do it by its own timer. So the Eco Tower app will allow us to display information, control the tower, and it also, like, update it to an online web server. That way, if we had to share, like, to another Eco Tower or to a business or a friend's, you can have online comparison of what's going on with your tower. And then David over here is going to explain to you the difficulties that we had to face during the projects.
So like a lot of everybody, pretty much everybody else in this room, they always ran into difficulties for their project. Well, ours were more or less the same, a little variation, but probably the biggest difficulty we had would be power consumption. We had to find a way to power the pump. We couldn't change pumps. We had to pick one pump, and we had to find a way to power it as best as we could. The other problem we had was unreliable wiring. It would always fall out, or and since it's in such a tight space, it always made it harder to reach. So we had to find a way to fix that. And the last problem we had really was leakage from the tower. Because it would leak through the holes and the gaps, we had to find a way to plug it up. Otherwise, it would damage the circuitry in the base. And we were able to fix that problem, as Larry will explain.
So some solutions that we came through from these difficulties was really just adjusting the power usage from the Arduino. We adjusted the power usage by adding in a timer so that it wouldn't be running continuously, and that way we can effectively improve the power efficiency without raising the electricity costs of our hydroponic system. We also decided to improve with a better wiring system, so we would want it with a color-coded kind of wiring system, and that way we could understand what's going to what and adjust towards that kind of system. And then lastly, of course, would be plugging in some of the holes. We tried doing that with some hot glue, and it's been working so far. So with that in mind, Johnny's going to be explaining the audience that this hydroponic system will be for.
So a mass company that focuses more on hydroponics is EdenWorks. What they focus on is bringing the farm to the grocer, minimizing that distance. They want to create mass solar panel farms, which will fuel hydroponics farms and things like that. That way, grocers will always have the freshest fruits and vegetables and everything like that. That way, the supply is always there whenever someone needs it. Here at IIT, Engineers for a Sustainable World looks to improve the quality of life and the betterment of the planet. Our contribution to the hydroponics aspects of Engineers for a Sustainable World is to make it autonomous, having it as a cell phone app. That way it'll be easier to monitor and things like that. That way they can make it into a bigger picture kind of thing. HydroFarm is a product selling company that sells miniature farms, but they cost up to $200 to $700. What we're trying to do is minimize that cost range. That way it can be affordable and everyone can have it in their homes. And then David over here will explain to you the future ideas of the fields of hydroponics.
So like in every field, there's always a way to better improve for the future. For the field of hydroponics, it can be split up to how the nutrients would be in the bucket. And they advance this by using aquaponics. And aquaponics is where you use tilapia, and they create a closed circle. So the fish would then provide nutrients to the plants, and the plants would provide food for the fish, creating a closed system. And that helps because it then reduces the need for us, the people, to manually put in the nutrients, and that to manually put in the nutrients. The other way we can improve for the future is to make it a mobile structure, so that instead of it being stationary, the tower itself stationary, we could put it on a motor, so then it can hit. Say you put it by a windowsill, and it only reaches one side. If you put it on a motor, then it could spin the tower and be able to give sunlight to all the plants. And then finally, one of the biggest ones would be for independent farming, such as urban agriculture. By putting towers like this in abandoned buildings, you're able to increase the food yield that people need to survive. So you can have food, so you can essentially feed exponential amount more of people than you would by just farmland. And then Larry will explain more of how we can advance this project of ours.
So building onto the Eco Tower, some of the things that we would like to improve on the next iteration would be to have situational monitoring. So in that situation, it would be if, say, it was raining, or if, say, it's hailing outside, and we want to make sure that the hydroponic tower would be growing as efficiently under different weather conditions as well. Another situation that we would like to improve would be to have autonomous nutrient dispersing. And we would like to have that because right now we still have to open up the bucket and put in the different nutrients, mix it in, and then disperse that autonomously. So with having that would improve our efficiency without having to necessarily put in all the same kind of work needed to build the tower as well. And then lastly, we also would like to have a kind of competition going on with other users. So since we are connecting this via Bluetooth through a mobile phone, we would like to have this also have a competition with other users, as well as gain leaderboards to compare how efficient your hydroponic will be. And so that just about covers our project so far. Does anyone have any questions? All right, thank you all.
Thank you.